Welcome back, race fans. I'm Chris Terrell. I'm here with DFSR.com, Rotoballer.com, and Rotopros.com to bring you my top picks for the Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. First thing to note is that the race has been moved up to 1:06 p.m. Eastern to trying to attempt to miss the rain, which is in the forecast for tomorrow. I believe they're trying to just kind of get to the halfway point, which make the race official, because they can't really move it to Monday because there's about 100% chance of rain on Monday, and then after this the teams head west for 3 races out in California and Las Vegas and Arizona. So keep that in mind when setting your lineups this week. In this video I'm going to give you 3 picks for possible dominators, place differential, some value plays, and a couple GPP pivots as well. So let's get things started. So to find the sheet, if you didn't see my first video, first thing I want to do is to find the sheet. So if you're a DFSR customer, what you're going to want to do is go to my preview article that comes out every week on Wednesday. You can read through it there, and at the bottom of the sheet you're going to find the link here, either right here, or you can click on the picture here and it's going to open the cheat sheet. Over at Rotoballer.com, I come out with an article usually Friday or Saturday post-qualifying and final practice to give you some picks there. So once you read through there and there at the bottom here, we also got the DFSR cheat, or the DFS NASCAR cheat sheet right here as well. You can click on that and it will open. For Rotopros, once you get into my weekly article, which is also a preview, comes out Thursday or Friday. At the bottom you will find the link to the Google document there as well. So just copy and paste that into your browser and it's going to open up a cheat sheet like this. So you're going to want to go to File, make a copy, name it whatever you'd like, and click OK. That's going to give you editing power, which will allow you to sort any of these columns, as well as go over all the way here to the dark purple and the light purple and adjust any of these weights if you feel one is more important than the other. So by changing any of these numbers up top of the purple columns here, it's going to change your actual overall rank on the far right and far left columns. So let's jump into the picks. A couple dominator drivers right off the bat. We've got Kevin Harvick, number 3 in my model. He's led 100 or more laps here in 4 straight and 5 of his last 6 races for a total of 835 laps led and an average of 98.1 DraftKings points per race, which is just over 40 more than the driver in second place during those 6 races. So definitely a good dominator target there, just from past history perspective. So he's going to qualify at 3rd this week. He was a little bit slower in final practice at 23rd, but he did post the 7th fastest 10-lap average. And like he normally talks about, he saves a lot for the race. So definitely don't count on Harvick just because of those final practice speeds. Should be up front here at Atlanta once again this year. Next up we got Kyle Busch. He won the pole for this race, starting 1st. And while he was 20th and 15th in his practice sessions, he was 2nd in final practice 10-lap average, so he's got some speed there in the long run, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And he also comes at a price under 10K, so that's really positive there as well. So I'll be using him in all formats this week. Another guy I like, kind of hits on both place differential and dominator, possible dominator points, is Denny Hamlin. So he's starting back a bit in 12th, so it may take a full stage to get up front, but I believe he has the opportunity to lead 50 or more laps definitely this week. He was 6th in first practice, 4th in final practice, and he was the fastest 10-lap average in that final practice as well. So he should be able to get up there and lead some laps as well, and he's in the low 9K range, so definitely a guy that will be targeted in all formats as well. Probably a guy you can build around in cash games for sure. You know, putting him and Kyle Busch together, 2 guys under 10K, gives you a lot of flexibility down at the bottom as well. You don't got to dig all the way down into the low 6K range to get those value plays to fit those guys in your lineups. Place differential plays, those are the guys that are in blue on my copy of the cheat sheet here that you see. And first up, number 1 in the model is Martin Truex Jr. He failed inspection 3 times before qualifying, didn't go out a 4th time, so he didn't actually qualify this week when it came to the qualifying. So he'll start back in 35th, which is 2nd last. There's 36 cars in the field this week, so he's got elite place differential value. He's going to be very chalky, but he was 2nd in final practice and the 5th fastest 10-lap average, so definitely good there. He's a guy, you know, you can definitely target in cash games with that elite place differential. But with the, you know, how chalky he's going to be, probably in the 40 to 55% range in GPPs. He is a guy that you probably can consider fading for GPP formats for sure. Just try and separate yourself from the field, because in actuality this is actually not one of... He was dominant on the mile-and-a-half tracks last season. As you can see, he averaged 95.5 DraftKings points per race, had 7 wins on mile-and-a-halves, but Atlanta has never been one of his best mile-and-a-half tracks. So definitely worth a fade in GPPs, but has that elite place differential value for sure. Next up, we got Ryan Blaney down at 8,400. He hasn't been very good here in his first 2 trips to Atlanta, 25th and 18th, but things could definitely change this year. He's getting, you know, a little more experience in a Cup car. It's going to be a bit of a challenge as he's starting back in 27th, but that for fantasy, that gives him elite place differential value, and he was 8th in final practice and the 6th fastest 10-lap average. So definitely a good target there. I think at 8,400, he's someone that we can target in all formats as well. Next up, we got Jimmie Johnson. He's number 2 in the overall model this week. He's at 8,800, so that's sub 9K range, which is nice to see. He's won here 5 times, including back-to-back wins in 2015 and 2016. So he's been pretty consistent here throughout his entire career. He's actually won back-to-back here twice in his career, and this week he'll be starting 22nd, so he does have some place differential value there. He was 6th in final practice. Little concern, he was only 13th 10-lap average. You know, so he's going to be GPP only for me this week, but he does have that place differential value, and I think, you know, a top 10 is definitely in the cards for him. I don't think he's not one I'm targeting for a win, even a top 5, but a top 10 I think is enough to hit value for that sub 9K range. Up next, we got some value plays. Those are the guys in yellow down here at the bottom. So first up, I'm looking at Ty Dillon, number 15 in the model this week. He unloaded off the truck fast, posting the 4th fastest speed, but he qualified back in 29th, which gives him some nice place differential value this week. He posted the 22nd fastest speed in final practice. He was 19th 10-lap average. So I think a top 20 finish is definitely in the cards, and at 6,500 I think that makes a whole lot of sense. Someone that we can use in all formats. He's also raced here 3 times, and he's gotten better each time out. In a Cup car, 25th, 18th, and 15th last year. Up next, we got Chris Buescher. He's number 8 in the overall model. He unloaded with a top 20 car in opening practice, qualified back in 24th. He did show some good speed in final practice, ranking 7th, but he did not post a 10-lap average. That, combined with a 28th and 24th finish in his first 2 trips here to Atlanta, has me reserving him for GPP only formats this week. Paul Menard, next on the list, number 10 in the overall model. He's also GPP only for me, as he has just 3 top 10s and 19 career races here. He's in the Wood Brothers number 21 car this year. They have shown some speed. He is starting 15th and was 3rd in final practice, and also posted the 3rd best 10-lap average out there as well. So, like I said, GPP only, but another guy under 7K that I think we can use this week. In GPPs, you know, you could stack 3 of them and then definitely go for 3 of the top high-end guys as well in your lineups. Up next, we're going to jump to the guys in purple here, and they're going to be GPP pivots, guys I think maybe a little bit lower owned than some of the guys I've already mentioned. With the chalk plays all around, Clint Bowyer we're going to start with here. He's 17th in the model. The chalk plays around him, I think he may be a bit overlooked this week. He's starting it, you know, he's starting inside the top 10, and he's had some poor stats here with no top 10 finishes in I believe it's like 7 straight races here, like back to 2010. He did show some excellent speed. You know, after starting 9th, he was 9th in final practice and had the 4th fastest 10-lap average, and I believe he was 2nd behind Kyle Busch in 20-lap average. I thought I heard that on TV at the end of final practice there. So definitely a good GPP pivot. I think he's probably going to be, you know, maybe 8 to 12% owned versus guys like Blaney, Jimmie Johnson, and then, you know, going up a little bit higher, there's going to be a lot of ownership soaked up with some of those other place differential plays. So starting inside the top 10, I think he makes a great pivot this week. Next up is Kasey Kahne. I was really hoping that he'd be starting a little bit farther back in the 95 car this week, but I think the fact that he's starting inside the top 15 should leave him a little bit lower owned as well. He's a 3-time winner here. in his career, and he also posted the 10th best 10-lap average in the final practice. So definitely a GPP only play, starting inside that top 15. But like I said, he's going to be low owned and could be a nice pivot off of the Ty Dillons, Chris Bueschers, and Paul Menards that I mentioned before, down in that value range. And for 6,200, I think we can stack him, like I said, with two of those other value plays, and definitely gets us up to, you know, stacking multiple guys here in the top end that we feel maybe getting top 5s or dominator points. Well, that concludes the video for this week, and if you have any questions on anybody I didn't mention, or more questions about guys that I maybe did talk about here in the video, there's many ways that you can reach me. You can hit me up on Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. Over at DFSR, you can hit me up in the comment section of my article down at the bottom, or in the member chat room that's going to show up here in the bottom right. Over on Rotoballer, at the bottom of the article, we've got the Fantasy NASCAR chat room. You can throw in some questions there as well, and I'll get to them as well. Over on Rotopros.com, you can join in on the member-only Slack chat that we have, and I'm very active in all 3 of those leading up until the race. So many ways to reach me if you've got questions. Thanks for checking out the video, reading all my content this week, and let's go out there and get some green screens. Cheers, everyone, and we will see you next week.